Before we start, I would want you to hit that red subscribe button so that you never miss out on any of our videos. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Music Boppers. James Burrows almost fired. Helen Baxendale from Friends. Baxendale was on a total of 14 episodes of Friends, which was enough time for her to become fodder for the paparazzi and struggle with the fame she received being on such a high-profile show. Her relationship blossomed with Ross in Season 4, and by Season 5, the two were married. But that did not mean that Baxendale had a secure job on the show. Quite the contrary, in fact, as Burrows almost fired her from the show. However, as a result of scheduling, that idea was eventually taken off the table. Often, you can't recast because of tight shooting deadlines or other logistical considerations. Burrows wrote in his book, directed by James Burrows, "You need someone who laughs. Sometimes you start an arc and it ain't working out, so you have to get rid of that person. If it's a day player, it's a quick goodbye." However, with the tight deadlines and shooting schedule Friends had, it was nearly impossible to be able to recast the role of Emily in the time frame they had. Instead, the decision was made to write the character off the show and use her as little as possible to move the storyline along. Chemistry between Ross and Emily wasn't the same as Ross and Rachel. While Ross had a series of relationships over the course of the series, none of them ultimately made him happy because he was in love with Rachel. However, that did not mean that there were not some great romantic interests on Friends where there was chemistry between Schwimmer and the actor playing his current crush, such as Bonnie Somerville, Mona, Aisha Tyler, Charlie, Christine Taylor, Bonnie, and others. The same, however, could not be said for Schwimmer and Baxendale and their on-screen chemistry. Schwimmer had no one to bounce off, Burrows explained in his memoir. It was like clapping with one hand. Burrows went on saying, "In sitcoms and any type of romantic comedy, the funny is just as important as the chemistry. We discovered that any new girlfriend for Ross needed to be as funny as Rachel. If there's chemistry, the writers go to work to figure out some way of keeping the actor. That meant that anyone brought on the show not only needed to have chemistry with Schwimmer that was as good or better than it was with Aniston, but also needed to be funny to resonate with the audience and make the relationship believable. The character of Emily was not seen as particularly funny by fans and even divided them when it came to her behavior after the wedding, when Ross says Rachel's name versus Emily's when saying his wedding vows. Some found her to be too controlling by telling Ross that he could not have a friendship with Rachel. Others found Emily to be very forgiving given what took place at the wedding. It was clear, however, that Baxendale had an expiration date on Friends, a fact that boiled down to her comedic timing and not her personality, and how she got along with the cast. James Burrows said Helen Baxendale was nice, but not particularly funny. What was interesting about Baxendale's casting in Friends was that she did not come from a comedic background. Instead, Baxendale's resume is filled with more dramatic roles. Therefore, the fact that she was not found to be as funny as the other guest stars or permanent actors on the show should not have been surprising. She was nice but not particularly funny, Burrows wrote of Baxendale. To Baxendale's credit, Burrows only directed 15 episodes of Friends. Of those episodes, only one was with Baxendale. As such, critics argue that he may not have truly gotten to see all that Emily's character could bring to the ensemble in that short time. Critics have also said that Emily was not written in the same comedic light as the Friends cast was. Instead, Emily was intended to be a wholesome, sensible, and cultured figure. A character with these personality traits may not possess the same sense of humor as other characters on the show. However, Emily and Ross on paper looked to be a good match. Between Burrows believing there was a lack of chemistry between Emily and Ross, audiences not being able to build a relationship with Emily, and Baxendale getting pregnant during her stint on Friends, a long-term role on the show was not meant to be. This brings us to the end of our video. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit like if you did, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you don't miss any of our videos in the future. Also, watch the 2 videos that are on your screen because I'm sure you'll love them.